the sun without letting stray ripples disturb its surface. And in that very calm, you discover your true power, not in controlling the entire world, but in commanding yourself and finding serenity amid life storms. Each morning, you awaken anchored in your inner strength. You remain unshaken, dignified, and free no matter how the world outside may change. I don't need perfection, just progress. Number 7, I don't need perfection, just progress. Imagine waking up early in the morning, setting a goal to exercise for 30 minutes, but ultimately only managing to run 3 laps around the park. Instead of sinking into a sense of failure for not hitting the full duration, you smile and tell yourself, that's already better than yesterday. Gentle sunlight filters through the leaves. A soft breeze brushes your face and you feel the positive energy radiating from your own, even if small steps. Perfection is an illusion. Progress is what's real. Those words resound like a wake-up call for the soul, dispelling the invisible pressure we place on ourselves. In the modern world, we're often swept along by ideal standards. We must be flawless at work, in life, in our relationships. Yet, when we look back, many times we've overlooked the tiny steps we took that held tremendous value. After all, every short stride, every effort, even if incomplete, stands as proof of perseverance, of a will unwilling to yield in the face of difficulty. When you let go of the harsh demand for perfection, you open the door to joy and the flourishing of creativity. Imagine that instead of worrying whether your draft is fully ripe, you simply focus on writing one more paragraph, fixing one small mistake, or adding a fresh idea. Each sentence grows more complete, like a companion urging you onward rather than standing still, chasing an impossible, all-encompassing ideal. Moreover, acknowledging each small advance nourishes your self-esteem and faith in yourself. When you realize you've learned a new English word, paid close attention in a meeting, or tidied up your workspace, you're not only checking off a task, you're building a positive habit. These tiny, accumulated routines become a steady force, capable of tackling any challenge. So instead of beating yourself up over what's not perfect, give yourself a smile and a word of praise. Thank yesterday's me for daring to step out of the comfort zone. With each new dawn, you don't have to carry the weight of an entire plan. Just ensure one small step ahead of where you were yesterday. In doing so, positive energy multiplies, your mind grows optimistic, and your productivity improves naturally. Additionally, embracing progress over perfection keeps your motivation alive. When a goal is too high, you're prone to discouragement from the outset. Conversely, when you break the journey into small steps and celebrate each one, you stay excited and energized. As a result, each morning you wake up ready to conquer, grounded in reality and without overt taxing your limits. Finally, remember that the magic begins with consistency. If you maintain a 1% improvement habit, then after 70 days, you'll have doubled yourself compared to the starting point. This isn't a distant dream, but the inevitable outcome of small yet steadfast steps over a long journey. And when you look back, you'll realize progress is the true perfection. Now that we understand the value of every step forward, let us turn to affirmation number 8. I choose to react, not react. We have together honored each small advance, simply improving by 1% every day. This nurtures belief, sustains motivation, and turns effort into achievement. Now let's explore the art of mastering our responses to remain calm in the storm, refusing to be driven by negative emotions, and choosing instead to answer with mindfulness and steadfastness. I choose to react, not react. Number 8, I choose to react, not react. Between stimulus and response lies freedom of choice, not merely a saying, but a gateway to mastering ourselves in every circumstance. Viktor Frankl, the thinker hailed as a modern Stoic, reminded us that true freedom lies in how we respond. When you greet a new day with the affirmation, I choose to respond, consciously not let instinct take over. You arm yourself with an invisible yet rock-solid power. Imagine beginning your morning with a steaming cup of tea, soft sunlight filtering through the window, and a cloak of peace all around. Then suddenly an angry message from a colleague pops up, or a call from a loved one brings unsettling news. In that instant, your natural impulse urges you to fire back, to let emotions free. But if you pause for just 5 seconds, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, will this reaction really serve me? Everything begins to fall into place. That brief moment of stillness is the magic of self-mastery. It doesn't erase the stimulus, but transforms how you face it. Rather than letting anger flare, you ask, how can I respond in ease? A way that preserves calm and finds a solution. And that question pulls you out of the emotional spiral, steering you toward maturity and wisdom. Responding consciously doesn't mean being cold or fake. On the contrary, it's how you cultivate compassion toward yourself and others. When someone irritates you, instead of unleashing your frustration on them, you might reply gently, I know you're under pressure. I'm here to listen. Or simply stay silent and reflect inwardly. That act not only soothes tension, but also builds mutual trust and respect. In Stoic philosophy, Epictetus advised that it's not external events that cause us suffering, but our judgments about them. By holding fast to the choice of a conscious response, you banish snap judgments, replacing them with calm observation and clear thinking. In doing so, you cease to be a victim of your emotions and become the master of the game. The power to respond deliberately also grants you profound freedom. You're no longer bound by the past or by hurtful words. Whenever someone taunts you, you choose to smile instead of launching a cutting retort. When work piles up, you decide to tackle the most important tasks first rather than panicking. All of this stems from the awareness that between stimulus and response, there is always the space to choose. By practicing, I choose to respond consciously. You are gradually forging patience and self-esteem. Each time you're in an impulsive irritation, you strengthen your inner core. Like an inner warrior, you train yourself not to be overrun by negativity, but to harness it as kinetic energy to move forward. Let I choose to respond, not react, become the symphony of your life's every beat. Each morning upon waking, remind yourself that the greatest freedom doesn't come from controlling the outside world, but from how you respond to it. As you steadfastly cultivate the habit of conscious response, you are writing the story of a person who is steadfast, serene, and full of dignity. Now I invite you to share. In what situation in your life have you had to pause for 5 seconds and choose to respond consciously? Leave a comment below with the words, I choose to respond consciously, so we can build a small community that supports and inspires one another every day. I live by my values, not by the expectations of others. Number 9, I live by my values, not by the expectations of others. No one can live your life for you. Let that phrase rise gently yet resolutely in your mind each morning. The core values you pursue are not the applause on social media, nor the invisible expectations of others, but the immutable principles that steady you through every high and low. Imagine that before you begin each new day, you pause for a few seconds, take a deep breath, and write down 3 words that embody your life's values. For example, integrity, kindness, discipline. These simple acts become beacons guiding you through countless choices over the course of the day. When you start living by your inner values, even the smallest decision is illuminated by self-respect and sincerity. As Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be and then do what you have to do. This maxim is not only a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, but also a powerful reminder. First affirm who you want to be, then take the necessary actions. If integrity is your foremost value, you will not trade your conscience to achieve a goal. If kindness is your guide, you will listen to others with genuine empathy, and discipline will sustain your perseverance no matter the obstacles. Moreover, living by personal values grants you a rare freedom. Unlike fickle standards that shift with trends, personal values are the sole measure you have the right to apply. Instead of comparing your life to images on a screen, invite yourself to become your most authentic version. Each time you tally her green eyes, or those likes, you lose sight of yourself. In contrast, by focusing on integrity, kindness, discipline, you will realize that true happiness springs from living today in alignment with the person you aspire to be. Likewise, jotting down your 3 personal values is more than a simple psychological exercise. It's a pledge to yourself. The moment pen meets paper, you breathe life into those words, transforming them into promises that won't easily fade. Picture this: you wake to the buzz of your phone and a flood of notifications. Yet in that instant you can ask yourself, which value must I honor first? Your answer will guide you to mute the external noise and ignite your inner flame. Therefore, I invite you to carve out a moment of silence each morning where only you and your 3 most important words exist. In that space, you will feel the latent power within. No one can strip you of the right to live by your values, and no standard can compel you to act against them. Nurtured daily, this conviction becomes a steadfast compass, enabling you to face challenges calmly and to shrug off meaningless chatter with confidence. Finally, as you embark on this journey of value-driven living, remember it is an ongoing process. Each subsequent morning, you may adjust, refine, or emphasize your chosen 3 words, but never abandon this vital practice. Let integrity, kindness, and discipline light your path so that every step you take leaves its mark on the road you've charted. And if you're ready, make this pledge to me. I am committed to living by my values. I guarantee that once you truly embrace this, your life will transform day by day toward the dreams you hold. These simple phrases may seem conclusion small, but when you repeat them each morning, they reboot your mental operating system. You'll no longer drift into stress. Instead, you'll greet your day with clear awareness, intentional choice, and empowered action. Commit to practicing these 9 affirmations for the next 7 mornings and watch how your perspective transforms. If you find these reminders helpful, pass them along to someone who could use a boost. Which affirmation resonated with you the most? Leave a comment below and let me know. And if you'd like more inspiration grounded in timeless wisdom, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.